folks?
What's going on?
Hope y'all are doing good. I about turned it over. Oh, Lord. Hang on. We about had a major catastrophe. I got a chair sitting in front of me. Now I got it all crooked. Y'all stand by while we, what do you call this?
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Well, what's up, Scott?
Oh.
Over there.
Now we good. We're kind of level.
A little bit.
Hope y'all are doing good. Let me get my thing going right there.
Going on, Muddy and Samuel.
Mine's percolating. Afternoon.
What's up, Eric?
So, okay, here we go. Now I'm seeing everybody. We will talk about I'm going to close this door because I hear all kind of talking here. At least halfway close it. We'll do the whole bow giveaway thing at the end. We'll go through our normal questions and all that, and then we'll talk about that shortly. Let's see. Oh, Richard has managed to stay awake. What time is it there, Richard? And as usual, if you're on here live, well, actually, as usual, this has been helping us. If you're watching the replay of this and you're not live, type in replay. It helps me. I've been intrigued because I thought most of our views were coming from the live part of it, but it's actually not that way. I get people commenting replay days and weeks afterwards, which is kind of crazy. But so if you're not watching live, hit the old or type in replay if you don't mind.
11:15.
Wow. What questions we got?
Let me get them up. Ben asked, will changing my let off change my draw length?
Probably.
I mean,
like, I'm just trying to think of a bow that it wouldn't. I mean, like, any limb stop bow, you're going to slide it. An Elite, for example, you're going to slide the stop back. It's going to lengthen. Even like a Prime, excuse me.
Yeah.
You're sliding the stop back. So probably so.
But it's not going to be much.
It's not. It's typically only like a 1/4 inch at max. But yeah, it probably will.
Let's see. Dallas asked, am I okay shooting 50 pounds for a hunting bow?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Somebody, I'd have to look back. I don't remember if it was on one of these YouTube videos or an email, but I remember somebody told me they were shooting 40-something pounds and was slaying deer. And I know we always bring this up to customers, but old Ted Nugent, I think, shoots 45 pounds and he's fine shooting deer. And so, yeah, I think people put too much thought into that sometimes. Which, I mean, granted, you don't want to make I wouldn't be shooting 50 yards at 40 pounds or whatever, but
I would say, stay with like a fixed blade broadhead. Cut on something, cut on contact, I wouldn't run mechanical route just because, that with that poundage, I know who is it? Rage makes one that's a low poundage one or low kinetic energy. I hadn't played with those, so I couldn't tell you, but I'd stay fixed blade. Harold asked, is there any rumors on the new Dudley bow?
Not that I've heard. And let me rant for a minute. They've fired our latest PSE rep again. I think we added it up, it's been like 6 reps in 2 years. Just when we liked the rep, and I was like, let's slowly maybe get some more PSE inventory in this coming year, because this guy, he was great. Tyler came around, and this year we hadn't ordered a ton of PSE stuff, but he still came and checked on us and was a nice guy to talk to and all that sort of thing. And now they done got rid of him.
Yeah.
I think I need to email PSE and say the Southeast does not sell as much PSE stuff as the Northeast or the wherever, because I know several reps got canned because of their sales, wasn't what they wanted them to be. It just ain't gonna happen down here. Around here, if you say Matthews, everybody goes crazy.
Yep.
And there's nothing against Matthews, but it's just not, I don't know. But so I don't even know what to talk about PSE. But no, we hadn't heard anything. since I called him to get some warranty stuff for a guy, and he was like, I'd love to help y'all, but unfortunately they let me go and all that. And I mean, he had good things to say about him. And anyway, so I had to call the factory, talk to several different people, wait on hold, all this crap to get the warranty stuff. And it's like, we just want a rep that we can talk to and deal with and be done with. Anyway, who knows what Dudley's coming out with, but they need to get their head out of their ass, in my opinion.
Yep. Brad Chum asked on here, do y'all recommend bear shaft tuning along with paper tuning, or do we paper tune bear shaft and broadhead tune?
My usual rotation is paper tune, walk back tune, and if there's any issue between those two, potentially bear shaft. And then if you do all three, if I was going to do all three, I'd probably paper, walk back, bear shaft, and then hope to God the broadheads are hitting after all that. Mm-hmm. But that's sort of my paper. To me, paper is a starting point. You get you a good bullet hole. But then what we see is with a lot of people, even when you get to the walk back tune, if they can't hit a paper plate at 25 yards, you're just pissing in the wind. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, sometimes it even comes to us just shooting it through the paper, because they'll shoot it one time, have a left tear, shoot next time, have a right tear. It's all over the place, and we can't deal with that. You know what I mean? Like I can sit there and tell you how to grip it and all that, but when you don't listen, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. But for you, I'd paper, I'd walk back, and then I'd bear shaft, and then I'd shoot a broadhead, and it should, after all that, hit the same spot. If it's not, I would check. I'd spin it, make sure the broadhead's straight and all that sort of thing, because with all that effort put into it, it should be right. But if I had to move something at that point, then you got to. But that's rare.
I'd almost, after you paper tune, walk back tune, I would almost, try my broadheads before, see where they're flying with your field points or whatnot. And then, if you're still getting some weird flight or anything, then you can go to bear shaft. But I'd try my broadheads after I walk back tuned it just to see where you're at, because it may not take a whole lot of movement after a walk back tune to get them flying right.
Good Lord, he's shooting at 100 yards. We set up a Raven bow for a guy. He just sent me a video of him shooting it. He's dead on at 100 yards. Can y'all see that? That's crazy.
Good Lord.
Anyway.
Let's see. Hunter asked, which releases are you guys hunting with?
The B3 King.
I'm running the B3 Hawk.
TJ, is that me? Why is that phone ringing? Lord, I didn't know this could even happen. I guess I don't know. The phone I'm recording is on ringing. TJ, we gonna have to take up a special super chat for him one day, and let me get him a crown or a King's thing from Burger King or something, because he sold 2 bows today, and I don't know how many this week, but he needs to definitely get Salesman of the Year.
Let's see.
Maybe one Thursday night we'll have a special award ceremony and crown him.
Let's see. Brad Crumb, I'm sorry, I messed up on. Can you elaborate on walkback tune?
Yes, sir. It's just hang a line like a plumb bob, shoot it at my usual things about 5. Now you can do it inside. You could do this much closer, but what I do is shoot it at about 5 yards. I'm hitting the line. I back up far to like 40 yards, make a couple shots, and if most of them are going to the right of the line, I'm gonna barely move my rest to the left, but then that means I'm gonna have to go back to 5 yards, reset my sight, get it hitting again, back to 40. Ultimately, and you need to make sure all your axis is on your sight set too, because that can change stuff. But normally I don't even make a sight adjustment. So what I do, shoot it at 5, get it hitting, don't touch anything, because I don't want it to be the sight. I want it to be the bow, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then back up to 30 or 40 where you're still going to hit the target, because let's talk about like a 3-foot line you got hanging. Shoot it a couple times. I want it to hit the line at 5 yards and at 30 or 40, and if it's going to the right, I'm gonna butt my rest left, or vice versa. But then you got to go restart, and by restarting, you got to set your sight back to it's hitting at 5 yards, checking it, you know. So I think we did a video on it. It might have been a while ago. I'd have to dig for it, but it's a simple thing, and that just tells you that the way you hold or torque or whatever the bow, because I may hold the bow a little different than TJ, or whoever. It just tells you that it's coming out of that bow good and square, because you're hitting the same spot at 5 as you are at 40. Now, you can do it if you're doing it inside. I've done it. It's been pouring rain here at like 3 or 4 yards in the shooting hallway, and then we can get about 15. Well, we can get a little more than that in the shop. I'll back up to there, and you're getting the same result. I just feel like, for me, for somebody that you know that can shoot like yourself, the further you back up, the better. You know what I mean? So, and shoot a couple. Make sure you don't shoot one and it's going right or left. Make sure the whole 3 or 4 group is hitting to the right of the line or left. And if you're at 40 or 50 yards and they're hitting a little bit on each side, but they're still close, it's probably good. And most of the time, once I paper tune, the walk back will either be on or extremely close. Like extremely close, like move the rest to 64th or something.
Most of the time, you can do it at 5 and 20 and still, if you can't shoot out to 40, 20 will be fine. I mean, we do it here all the time in the shop. 20 just seems to work better with average Joe, let's just say.
Knock tuning can affect it by all means, but we do a little bit different. So when you're tuning your knocks, you're really just finding the stiff and the weak point of the arrow. We've got that little spine checker device, and that's how I start with that. Is I'll put my little weight on there, I'll spin the arrow, and wherever the weak point is, I'll put a dot, and I'll make sure with whoever we're dealing with all this with, where they're shooting all the arrows with the stiff spine up or the weak spine up. I shoot the weak spine up because I feel like all that energy is going to want to find the weak spot. You know what I mean? Like a piece of metal, if it gets bent or something happens to it, it's always going to bend to the weak spot. That's the way I think about it. But there's a lot of people that tell me, no, I want mine to the stiff spot. And that's fine. I'll do it either way. But so I do that, and I found that pretty much that is about the same thing as knock tuning, except for I don't have to shoot all my arrows a million times and mess with them and all that stuff, because I feel like it's finding the same thing. But I've had a bow tune weird, and we start doing that and knock tuning and all that, and it cleared up, which told me on that particular bow the spine was like almost too weak. So playing with that, doing that, fixed it kinda. But I even told the guy, I was like, I'd go up from a 340 to a 300, because I feel like with a broadhead, excuse me, and all that extra drag, I don't like it. But anyway, that's a whole nother chat.
Is it worth bare shafting for bullet holes through paper if you're going to walk back tune, or would you just try and get all the arrows to tear the same?
I mean, it's worth it. It's just like, I guess everybody's got a point of how far they'll take it. And for me, I feel like I got to know my stuff's perfect, or it'll be in my head and I won't shoot good, like at a tournament or deer hunting. But I think 80% of people, we can get it the bullet hole and they're good, and sometimes there's grip issues we got to work with. But like, if you want everything perfect, that by all means, shoot every shaft through the paper, bare shaft, and see if they all bullet hole. And if they don't, start twisting those knocks, and then fletch them, and then walk back, and then go from there. But I've never really thought about putting on paper like a huge, like if I had all day, or if it was my stuff, or how do you word it? You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted it as perfect as I could get, here's what I'd spend all day doing. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it would be. But usually, even our tournament stuff, I'll paper tune it, usually at 2 distances, because I always try to tell people this guy told me many years ago, he's like, paper tune's BS, because you can shoot it at 5 yards and get a good hole, and you can back up and get a bad one. And I'm like, well, no shit. If the arrow's kicking, if you get it through the paper where it's straight, where it's perfectly straight, but it's still kicking, you're going to get a bullet hole. But if you back up 5 more yards and it kicks, then you got something going on. So anyway, 2 different yardages, paper tune. If you want to do all the knock tuning stuff, shoot some bear shafts before that, and then the walk back, and that's getting pretty dang spiffy there.
Mm-hmm.
And then according to what bow you got, you can get into a little bit of yoke tuning if you need to, which can help broadhead stuff. But most of the time, I'm going to say 80 to 90% of the time, you do all that and the broadheads are hitting with the field tips, unless the broadhead's wobbling when you spin it.
Yeah. Larry asks, what's the best all-around serving for me to buy for peeps, kisser installs, etc.?
Probably BCY 3D. It's like $15-20 a spool, but it's good for, you can't use it for center serving, but you can use it for tying anything in. I mean, they still make the number 4 nylon serving, which is old school, but it works for tying in everything, and it's only like $5 a spool. But I like the 3D. It burns better and it feels good, and it's 17 thousandths thickness. That's my preferred stuff. If I don't know, there's really nothing I would recommend to use for center serving and tying stuff in, and all that. Because center serving, you're getting to a bigger diameter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the 3D, you can get it in a million different colors.
Yep. Daryl asks or says, my local shop is having a hard time getting inventory. How has it been for you guys?
A pain in the butt.
Yep.
We got some stuff coming in tomorrow I had to get from a distributor, but like, it's crazy. I hate to we say this 100 times a day because everybody's like, can you get me this? And we're like, yeah, but it's going to take a while.
Yep.
I think it started with arrows and with QAD wrist. Mm-hmm. QAD wrist got back ordered. I'm talking about every color, every type. But anyway, it's been bad. We never got our Black Eagle July order that we had programmed back in January, so I finally just canceled it. I was like, we'll just have to go a different route here because we need arrows right now, and if y'all can't ship them, you can't ship them. So, it's been a mess. We ran out of Spot Hog stuff. They did ship our programmed orders when they were supposed to, but we still ran out, and I called them, talked to them about reordering, and they were like, we can do it, but it's going to be a while, so.
Yeah.
We've had some manufacturers talk about 8 to 12 weeks and all this stuff, so. And it's all the same story. Either they can't find help, the COVID's having them something going on, people's out. I mean, it's the same old crap, but.
Pretty much anybody right now that I know of that I've talked to is anywhere between 8 to 14 weeks is from what I'm gathering. And most of the time when they start giving you that kind of timeline, you always going to add at least 2 or 3 more weeks to it just because it's never when they say it's going to be. Bill asks, should I shoot a heavier field tip or put a weight behind my insert?
I like the weight behind the insert because you can stick with the 100 grain broadhead that is readily available, but you still got that extra weight, unless you just want some big beefy 150 grain broadhead. But most people, I like just putting that weight behind the insert. It's there, you ain't got to worry about it, and just shoot your regular 100 grain stuff.
Let's see here. Can I kill a deer with my Sanlita Dragon?
Oh yeah.
I don't see why not.
I mean, we really need to know what poundage it's on, but I mean, if it's average, poundage, they didn't say how old they were. I mean, I don't think it's like a 4-year-old, but oh yeah, it'll definitely kill a deer. Bruce asked, was watching videos about nocks and stuff. Which kind of nocks do we prefer? I feel like the pin nocks have a aerodynamic advantage, big butt. They're a lot more brittle, so I shot pin nocks, but I talked to a few people that was having trouble with them, just different, it opening up, and we actually had a guy here shooting them out front, and his had opened up, and he didn't know it, and he shot, and it opened up the nock and blew his bow up, and after all that, I went to the standard size gold tip AccuLite knot, which I like because it's short, so it's still got a little bit of aerodynamic stuff going on, but it's stout. I mean, it's really stout.
It is.
So that's me. I feel like the G or the M knot, whatever you want to call it, and the pin knot, they're great, but they're brittle and they're thinner. And after I seen that 12 people have problems and one guy really had a problem, I was like, all right, I quit shooting them 2 years ago.
Yeah. It's one of them that, you know, you've got that much money tied in, and if you really think about it, on a pin knot, the throat of that knot where the string meets the arrow is right there on that pin knot. So as much force as that string is putting on that arrow, moving it,
little bit of plastic.
That little bit of plastic, I mean, if you're shooting pin knots, I would probably say replace them every year.
Probably more than that.
Probably.
Because when I was shooting them, and Redbeard over here kept slapping, he would slap my arrows, so it got me to checking them. And sure enough, I don't think I got any in here, but I wasn't even noticing it. But some would be split, or some just wouldn't fit the string as good, and all that sort of thing. And like I say, after all that, I was like, screw it, I'm going back standard.
I could still shoot pin knots because he don't shoot nowhere near me, but you know. But I don't shoot pins either. Let's see. Zach says, what sight are you guys hunting with? I'm running the Spot Hog Fast Eddie XL, which I've run now for last couple years. I really want to try the XL landslide, but I kind of want a little bit too much for me.
I plan to shoot a Fast Eddie XL, but we ain't gonna be able to get our hands on one for probably 6 to 8 weeks. So I may just start out with a single pin Trophy Ridge, something, whatever we got on the wall, until I can get my hands on a Fast Eddie. I was hoping by now I could have got one, but it's not the end of the world. I just seen Devin on here. For those of you that watch Married Outdoors, Devin came and bought that yellow bow we were selling. We just need a show of hands of how many people think he should just dry fire the hell out of that thing. Just blow it up. You got two thumbs up here.
Yep.
So.
What up, KJ?
Karofsky.
Let's see. Heath asked, now that the nose buttons have been out a while, have you guys saw any disadvantages? Not really.
I even seen a guy, I hate setting peeps sometimes and kissers and all that, because you'll be like, do not shoot this bow.
Yeah.
We setting it, need to let it down, and we tied in. That guy jerked her back,
boom,
pow! And the nose button did not come off of that bowstring, and it wasn't tied in. I could not believe it.
I'm surprised.
But anyway, that was just a funny story. But no, I hadn't seen any disadvantages of them. I like them.
Yeah. Corey asked, how do I become an archery tech?
My advice is, if there's any way possible, go work at a shop for a year or two in the afternoons, or even if it's completely for free, I guarantee you, even if you go ask them, hey, can I help you? And they were like, no, if you hang out enough, you're going to end up, they'll let you help them or do something.
Yeah.
That's how 50% of the people that has worked here ended up working here. They customers to were here a lot, to they wanted to learn stuff, to okay, do it, you know. So I would say try to get a job in the evenings or just whenever you can, weekends at a shop, because you'll learn a ton and you'll have somebody else there that can teach you. Offer to help for free. If that's not even an option, you don't have a shop, blah, 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 blah. I mean, there's still lots of people that just order them a bow press and they'll take their own bow and just start taking stuff apart and tinkering. And I mean, that's fine. You're going to probably be limited on, you know, your buddy's bows and yours, but it works. It works. And YouTube, I wish YouTube would have been around when I was learning all this crap, because, like,
me too.
There was no YouTube. There was limited books on anything, you know, and I had two guys about an hour north or south of me, older guys that, thank God, kind of let me come in and show me some stuff. But now you can get on YouTube and learn so much. But anyway, I like lighter weight bows. Most of the newer ones are pretty heavy. Where do you draw the line on max weight for a hunting setup? That I agree with you. We had a Matthews Feather Max in here the other day, and they weighed 3 1/4 pounds back then. And now they're like another pound plus. So that's crazy.
The last question I've got is, should I buy a high-end bow or high-end accessories? I can't afford both, and that comes in from Joe.
That's a hard one. That is a hard one because I mean, on one side of things, there's a lot of great used bows you could get that were like top of the line 2 to 3 to 4 years ago. But on the other end, you could buy, you know, the top of the line rest and sights and all that, and upgrade the bow later. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know.
It's one of those you can go either way. I would man, that's a hard one. I would almost say go ahead and get the bow, and then, you know, if you've got some accessories laying around the house, even if it's a whisker biscuit or, you know, just an old single pin or an old 3-pin sight just to get you through, and then that way you can start looking at the higher end stuff. You know, looking at, if you like limb driven, you can start looking into the limb driven rest. You can look into, you know, your higher end sights, your spot hogs, your excels, your HHAs, CBE. I mean, there's sights out there that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
So many different models, but I would probably go ahead and go the high end bow route and worry about my accessories later. That way, you know, you can get into, you know, your stabilizers, back bar mounts, that front quick disconnect.
Well, I guess at least if you bought the high end bow, you know, you could just do little splurges. You know what I mean?
Here and there.
All right, let's put $300 in the sight, you know, this month, and then a couple months later, all right, let's put a couple $100 in the stabilizer or whatever you want to do. So
yeah, that would.
The other good thing would be if you're the original owner of the bow, you've got the warranty. Whereas if you were to buy a used bow or something, you don't. So that's a pretty big plus.
And I mean, it sounds like that you're going to keep that bow for a while. You know, for at least 2, 3, 4 years, maybe longer. So that's where I would be at on that one. Let's see.
Brad, I'm going to do a video at some point. I've been thinking on this like a torture test, comparing a regular insert to the hit, to the collar, to the whatever, and see like what holds up through, you know, wood, through the iron butt, whatever, you know, because everybody's always hollering that outsert protects the arrow the best. But one day we're going to do it might be a couple weeks, but we'll get a video on it because I've been curious of what would happen too.
KJ, that Ultimate Easy Press is the one that we've got that you can do crossbows, and that is right. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do crossbows.
Well, actually, the Easy Green is cheaper. It don't have the wheel. It's got the handle, but it'll do bows and no, it won't do crossbows.
It won't do crossbows.
Well, it'll do a regular crossbow, or will it? It won't go that low.
You might be able to get like an old quad 400 or something like that, but there's one.
Because I know they make the Easy Green crossbow and the Easy Green regular, so yeah.
Ain't there one like a step?
Well, there's the Easy
Green crossbow.
Then there's just there's so many now. There's like the Ultimate, the Deluxe. I have to look. I can't keep them all straight.
Maybe it's the Deluxe that does crossbows, because the Ultimate Easy you can get the Raven attachment, the press to the Raven crossbows, but maybe the Deluxe will do standard crossbows.
I have to look. What else we got?
That's all the questions I got. I'm going back through the comments, just look, see if I missed something.
So while everybody's still here, we got a ton of emails about our bow giveaway. And we went through them, and I mean, honestly, pretty much all of them were good picks. But we have picked Luke the Outdoorsman on here. That's his handle on here. He has sent us a story about his brother, and he's going to give it to his brother. So that's who we're going to send this PSC flash to. But we've been talking And we'll probably put out some kind of video on that in a couple weeks. I've also been toying with the idea of maybe doing this about once a month, because I mean there was a bunch of good, well not good, but there's a bunch of people that could use a bow, I guess is what I'm saying. And you know, a 8 to 10 year old bow is fairly readily available and for about $100. So maybe once a month or so, if we have one, or maybe we can find one cheap or something like that, you know, we'll put strings on it and do all that sort of thing, and do more giveaway stuff. I don't want to do it like every week and it be a big mess, but there's a ton of people out there, it looks like, that need a bow, or they got a brother or a relative or somebody that can't afford one or something like that. So we'll definitely be doing more of this. But Luke the Outdoorsman, we'll have a video. He's going to record his brother getting it and all that, but we got to finish setting it up for him and ship it to him. But congratulations, and we will, like I say, we'll have a nice video of the unveil when he's going to send me a video of the brother getting it and all that stuff. So that'll be cool. But if you sent in stuff about somebody else, like I say, just keep up to date on the channel, because hopefully sooner than later we'll be doing another one here in about a month. So I just got to get, I've already mentioned it to a bunch of local people that come in, and some people even said they may have bows they could give us similar to this one, that we can, you know, put a string on and maybe a few accessories and all that sort of thing. So that will be cool. And even KJ just said he would sponsor some giveaway stuff. So we'll get with everybody and figure all that out at some point, but that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, KJ, if you're going to do the one with the Ravens, you're going to have to go to Ultimate Easy Press.
And then you got to buy an attachment.
Yep.
It's another couple $100. But like for us, I don't know anybody. We've had people driving 5, 6, 7 hours to get here for us to put a string on a Raven, because nobody has got a Raven press or that attachment. So, good luck to you too, Brad.
Yeah.
We South Carolina opens up this coming Wednesday, so we got a couple busy days coming up here. TJ sold 2 bows today, and we still got a lot of bows waiting to be fixed and all that, but this Saturday will probably be crazy.
Oh yeah.
And then luckily we got a good bit of stuff coming in tomorrow from a distributor, some arrows and sights and just random stuff. So
Mighty Duck says they open Saturday.
yeah. Saturday.
Let's see, what else? And pretty much, if you need a string before hunting season, I hate to hurt your feelings, but it ain't gonna happen.
I'm
sorry.
I did show TJ. Yeah, we'll have people coming in Saturday wanting to hunt Wednesday, and they'll have like a completely blowed up bow, and it's like, and people still call today like, I need to run my bow down there. Can y'all throw a string on it? And it's like we've been telling people pretty much we're a month behind, and that's us. Last night we were in here till like 12:30. I mean, that's us doing that sort of thing and still not being able to keep up. But
yeah,
you're welcome, KJ. Let's see. You gotta wait till the end of the month in Tennessee. It's crazy how there's such a variation of seasons opening. When I asked that, I think it was last week on a video. It was like Arizona, I think, had already opened or fixing to open. I thought maybe it started sort of East Coast and worked its way over, but it's just hit or miss all over the place, you know.
Who was I talking to? I know Kentucky Open had an early archery season.
And then we got, speaking of that, we got a youth day Saturday here. Yeah. So anyway, we will get off here and quit jabbering, but thank y'all for tuning in.
Yep.
I got a Raven video coming out tomorrow, and then we're gonna do the DRT Broadheads. It'll come out Monday or Sunday or Monday, whatever day. Monday, I think. I'm curious to see how they do, and I can't remember. We got a couple videos planned out, so thank y'all for watching.
Yep.
And all that good stuff. If you're watching afterwards and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It looks like all these videos are starting to gain a little traction, so more people are seeing them. and that kind of helps us get our, like the giveaway stuff out there and all that sort of thing. So, anyway, we'll see y'all hopefully tomorrow.
Yep.
And if you need anything, let us know.
Yep. See y'all.
See ya.